fastest time. But let's get to the first heat of these semifinals. Jayla Hollis, the freshman from Arkansas, will be in lane 4.
And speaking of Arkansas, just saw her teammates score for the Razorbacks, trying to get their 8th title in a row here. It's just incredible. And right now, Jayla is all about her start. She said, I've got to be better in this first 30. She's been working on it so hard, and she said this track is set up perfectly for her to do that.
The 200 is where these tighter turns make even more of a difference. And she probably wouldn't mind being outside by 1 lane, but they probably practice in lane 4 in Arkansas, which is also a fast track. Only 2 entries, 2 scratches. Hollis in 4. Stewart, is it? No, it is Miles in lane 3.
Hollis did get out in that first 30. She had a really nice start. That curve, you got to set those blocks so you don't come straight out. You want to curve them around so that you're not running a super tight curve when you start. So the timing didn't stop for us, so we don't know what the time was. 23:42 is now the official time. It becomes the time to beat. Qualifying is all by time, the top 8 times over 8 heats. And it's advantageous for all the women coming in the back of this heat with just 2 runners to see what that time sets in. And for Hollis, just finishing strong, making sure she keeps her hips up, and hoping that the 23:42 is going to be enough.
She is the winner of that heat, establishing 23:42 as the time to beat. The scratches came from the outside lanes, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
As we move along to heat number 2, and we are featuring Aggie freshman Layla Owens.
Just had a personal best of 23 flat, albeit at altitude, just a couple weeks ago. She is a freshman, COVID freshman, 2019. She was a state champion at George Bush High School, and she's going to have to tangle with Amari Brown of Alabama, Ella Escobar of Vanderbilt, and her teammate Madison Fuller of Vanderbilt.
It's just 1 lap at the track, all out for time. Top 8 times advance to tomorrow's final.
Staying low at the top of this curve is so crucial. Amari Brown did a really nice job of that, but this is Layla Owens' track. She competes on it every single day at practice, knows all the ins and outs of it, and how to run these curves.
Amari Brown challenging in lane 4, but it is all Layla Owens.
Wow.
And again, the time did not stop. 23:28 is the official time, so that becomes the fastest time run so far. The clock we are usually depending on just continues to run.
Got to re-accelerate up this second curve, and then right here, as Owens does, lift your knees, look at her arm swing, right up, shoulder down to the hip pocket, very relaxed, drops her shoulders far left of your screen into gray. Knee lift and front side mechanics are absolutely key coming off of that bank.
So Owens winning the heat in 23:28, followed by Amari Brown of Alabama, 23:90. As we move along to heat number 3 very quickly, and to Talitha Diggs, who we saw earlier in the 400-meter heats.
She qualified 8th in those 400-meter heats, and she said, in this race, I need to have a better start acceleration. Make sure that my arms are really good out of the blocks. I've had a little bit over an hour, just about an hour rest from that 400. I would have liked to see those men's 5,000s go before these sets of 200s to give it a little bit more rest. That's above our pay grade.
Diggs has clocked 22:75 this season, and she's running blind out there in lane 6.
Kaylin Heath at Kentucky had a really nice start out of lane 4, and Diggs going to have to just lift right here and stay really patient not to push.
And Diggs now establishes the time to beat. Fastest time run so far, 23:11.
Diggs did a really nice job right here coming off. She's tired from the 400. There's no doubt about that, but you can't get panicked here.
stay relaxed and try to have those front side running mechanics up above as much as possible. She did a really nice job of finishing.
Followed closely by Canondra Davis of Georgia with a 23:42. That's a likely time qualifier in second place.
Don't forget, you got the collegiate record holder coming up in the latter heats as we get a look at Jada Baylark from Arkansas, who'll be running out of lane 6. She was the second fastest qualifier about 2 hours ago in the 60-meter dash, and she has just been an absolute workhorse for Arkansas. She's such a veteran. She said, all I'm doing in this meet is relaxing. When I can do that, I run my best.
Arkansas senior will start out of lane 6. He's run 23:06 just a week ago at the Arkansas qualifier meet.
One thing Baylark told me is that she said, coming off that last curve, I want to make sure that my shoulders are really relaxed and that my face is really relaxed. Once you see those runners' cheeks going up and down, you know the rest of their head and their shoulders into their neck are very relaxed, and that is so crucial in a race like this.
I just don't think the turnover is there like she wants, but it didn't hurt her at all. 22:89.
Wow.
Fastest time so far.
Look at her face. See how her cheeks, you see the little bounce in her cheeks? She's not straining on her face. She does bring her lips together, but look at how she breathes out. That's an in and out drill. When you run in and outs in practice, far left of your screen, you breathe and hold, and that actually accelerates your feet underneath you, and then you breathe out. Really nice run by her, personal best.
By a couple tenths of a second. Establishes
Wow,
the
that's
fastest
huge.
time run so far. As we move along now to heat number 5, and in lane number 5, the South Carolina freshman Tiara Frazier.
She ran a personal best at that Tiger Paw meet as well just a couple weeks ago. 23:29, and being able to see the first few heats in front of you, those first 4 heats, what time you need, that does change just how far and how fast you push out of the blocks. Got to cover ground and run far out of the blocks.
Just under halfway through, and the bubble time, Amari Brown at 23:90. Frazier has Destiny Jackson of Georgia on her outside to chase. On her inside, Joella Lloyd doing a nice job in that tight lane 4.
Great start for Lloyd of Tennessee. Woo! Right here, relax and just lift.
Frazier holds off Lloyd at 23:41 for the winner.
Had a little bit of a break in her arms right at the end, but she stayed relaxed coming off that curve, and then just a little bit of a form break. Watch right here as both women come around. Frazier is in the maroon. Lloyd, a really nice job of pushing here and accelerating into that curve, but watch how relaxed Frazier is off of it. And then right here, lift, lift, lift. That was the difference between, but then her arms get a little wild and crazy, but good enough for that finish.
They both ran times about in the middle of the pack, maybe closer to the bubble. 23:41 for Tiara Frazier puts her right in the middle. Joella Lloyd at 23:57 puts her about 6th overall.
Favor O'Feely of LSU in this 6th heat in lane 6 was 3rd overall qualifying in the 60 a couple hours ago, and she said, I love this second curve. Dwight, she said when she gets the transition off the straight and goes into that last curve, she literally says to herself, poke, poke. It just makes her go faster.
All right, the system is updated. Joella Lloyd is now the bubble time at 23:57 with 4 heats remaining, and Abby Steiner still to run. Ophelia ran 22:71 at altitude in New Mexico.
Really great start right there, and a lot of that is just the speed from those shorter races in the 60. But right here, she says, I love this curve. Right now in her head, she's going, poke, poke. And she said, all I have to do, transition. I'm not going to push here. I'm just going to finish. Look at that.
22.61. That's a lifetime best, not at altitude.
Wow. Look at the smile. The poke, poke worked. And that's the thing, when you transition off of this curve right here, watch how smooth she runs. Look at the front side knee mechanics. Up, 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 shoulders are up, hips are up. That's flawless.
Fastest time of the day by almost 0.3 of a second.
Good for her.
And a lifetime best basically at sea level. 22.61 for the sophomore from LSU. Tiana Brown right now at 23.55. No, she is one off the bubble. The bubble now 23.47.
And that time for Ophelia is an African indoor record at 200 meters. As we get a look at her teammate, Leah Phillips, she ran the 60 earlier. And she said that in this race, I've got to have better arms. She said, I've got to make sure I keep them short on the curves and keep my body in tight and not get long.
She draws lane 4, and her 23.29 lifetime best is about what she needs to run to be in the mix. That doesn't even assure her of a spot in the final. Phillips in lane 4, Neville's in 5, Ballard of Alabama in 6.
Phillips stood a little bit up right out of the blocks, but had a really nice backstretch run. Accelerate here and just lift your knees all the way home.
And she does run a lifetime best. She ran 23.29 coming in. She runs 23.20 here and puts herself 4th overall with 2 heats remaining.
After a start like that, not panicking is it's just crucial. And she did such a good job as a freshman. That shows maturity. Really nice lift. She's got a little bit more room to swing those arms that will help in that last 50. She'll get that corrected. Trust me, Dennis Shaver will have a talk.
Phillips wins it at 23.20. Natasha Ballard at 23.56 puts her outside the qualifying times. As we move along to heat number 9.
Karima Davis from Kentucky, the junior. She's got a personal best of 23.30. She did that a couple weeks ago at that Tiger Paw Invitational. I think everybody that competed at that Tiger Paw Invitational had a personal best. She trains with Abby Steiner, the collegiate record holder. And once you train with somebody like Abby Steiner, it does nothing but help your race day in and day out. You get to tweak things against somebody that knows how to run a race fast, knows how to bring a race back in. And when you come in and you're a junior, like Davis is, it is advantageous and beneficial.
Heat number 8 of 9. Bubble time 23.42. Davis's lifetime best 23.30. Davis a transfer from Florida State, so she went from ACC to SEC. Chukwu Obi of Alabama giving chase in lane 5. Davis now lifting for the finish line. Can she match her personal best?
Hey.
Under it. 2/10 lifetime best. They corrected up to 23.11, but that establishes her as equal third so far with 1 heat remaining.
And let me tell you what that does for your mental psyche. When you can run this smooth and have a personal best in the prelims, whether you knew what the time was or not, loading you up into that final, it does everything, and it just makes motivation a huge factor. Great run. She was smooth.
So that 23.11 puts her right in the mix, equal with Talitha Diggs, and only 2 times faster today, going into this 9th and final heat. There are the results.
Davis with that 23.11. That's a lifetime best. And she could very well get a very good lane draw as we now look at the class of the field. The collegiate record holder, two-time defending champion, Abby Steiner of Kentucky, who already ran the fastest time in the 60.
She did, and she's coming off that left Achilles tendinosis that absolutely crushed her. She tried to run at regionals. She told me yesterday, she said, Jill, I felt worthless when I was at regionals. It was like a last-ditch effort. She rehabbed. She did everything right over the summer and fall, set that collegiate record a few weeks ago, and she is ready to run fast.
Fastest time of the day so far, 22:61. She ran 7:17 in her 60-meter heat, fastest time of the group.
Wow.
Already making up the stagger on Teja Bedal, the freshman of A&M. Now she's running against the clock.
Look at her frontside running mechanics. Textbook.
Great turnover.
Jeez.
22:44, just 7/100ths of a second off her collegiate record.
She stays down so well in her start in that first 30 meters. It is absurd, and that sets her up for the rest of her race. Look at how everything is forward and down, and now frontside running mechanics come in. It looks like she's tightened up, but it's not. It's very deceiving. Her arm movement and keeping her hips tall, when she comes off of this curve, see how her knees are up? Her arms are so short. Everybody thinks that they're tight. They're not. She is tremendous at technical 200-meter running.
That 22:44, the fourth fastest time ever run amongst collegians in the 200 meters. And there are your advancers to final. It was 23:20.